Days after the grueling battle with Cell Max, Piccolo is doing his usual meditation at the lookout. It's all fun and good, nothing unusual about his meditation so far. I mean, he is perfectly calm and serene, just looking the orange one inside of him in the face. Piccolo recalls how he didn't even realize how he had turned into this orange form, and so after Gohan had asked him about it, so now he's using these holistic meditation methods to simply observe himself. Meanwhile, at Beerus' planet, Whis is seen overseeing Goku and Vegeta's little sparring session with Broly again. Beerus is beyond bored at this point. I mean, it's always the same thing with these three Saiyans. He wants something different. Yo, Whis, let's go to Earth, he says. I could really use some Starbucks right now. I knew it. You're addicted to that caffeine, aren't you? We had like 30 years worth of coffee beans here. Where did they all go, Whis replies. I don't want to even argue about it. You know what happened to those beans, Beerus adds, and he seems unusually sluggish today. Hearing this, Vegeta asks, so Whis, is that thing with Cell Max or whatever over? Everything is good, right? Whis affirms. And Goku gives Vegeta a thumbs up. I mean, they all knew what was going on back on Earth, but they also knew that Gohan and Piccolo would be able to handle everything. Well, they are all ready for a quick trip back home, but then almost out of nowhere, the Oracle Fish wakes up and drops another vague prophecy. The warrior in orange will soon become the bridge connecting the past to the future. Then there was a long silence, but Beerus would soon break it. What does that even mean? Orange who, he asks? Whis, however, did watch over the battle between Cell Max and the Z Fighters, so he is aware of both Beast Gohan and Orange Piccolo at this point. There's no doubt about it, there's no way this is a coincidence. The one the Oracle Fish is talking about is indeed Orange Piccolo. Whis doesn't share this insider info with anyone else though, at least not yet, Back at the lookout, Piccolo is deep into his meditation. He's gained that instinctive sense of his new powers, but deep down, something still stands out and he just can't ignore it yet. There's a mark on the back of his gi, and this mark is a symbol of Namekian pride. Piccolo continues meditating and observing the mark, but what he couldn't tell at that moment is that while he was staring deep into that mark, the mark was also staring back at him. It doesn't happen at once though, but gradually he begins to feel kind of overwhelmed. Not enough to break his meditation though, but certainly enough to make him a little bit uncomfortable here. This sensation felt almost eternal, but he didn't stop staring at his back though. In fact, his trance-like meditative state kept getting deeper and deeper, almost as if he falls asleep right in the middle of it and then wakes up somewhere else. He wonders if he's just lost in the deep recesses of his mind, or perhaps he's in a different realm altogether. The surroundings were way too vague for him to gain a proper understanding though, so immediately he's taken aback by an overwhelming burst of light that soon transforms into a vision of this supreme being. Piccolo's still unable to see whatever there was there to see, but he can make out the same symbol of the Namekian pride on this supreme being's chest. Soon, everything turns black and he would open his eyes. Goku had been slapping him in the face for like 3 minutes straight now, trying to wake him up. Oh, what's up, Piccolo? You look kinda sick, man, Goku says. Piccolo grabs his shoulder and gets up. He replies, no, this is just my new orange form. Whis can see right through Piccolo though. He knows that this man wasn't just passed out. He was somewhere else entirely. And add that with the prophecy of the Oracle Fish, and things start falling into place a little bit, right? And yes, the others do notice it too. The Oracle Fish did speak about an orange warrior who will connect the past to the future, and well, who better fits that prophecy right now than this Orange Piccolo? Whis, were you aware about all of this, Beerus asks. Yes, but I still had to check it for myself to confirm. Rejoice, Lord Beerus. Things may soon become interesting for you again, Whis replies. Beerus would laugh. It does seem to be the case. Of course, Piccolo has no clue what they're talking about here, and he doesn't want them ruining his solitude either. He excuses himself and goes to the mountains, ready to be alone again. He sits on a boulder and stares into the sky. Day turns into night and then into 2 days, but he was still staring. The answer was within him the whole time, and he knew it. That's why he didn't require any dialogue with Whis. He already knew. He is in a state of constant quiet tension, just looking deep into the vast unknown, the universe, because he knows that when you stare long enough into the cosmos, guys, the cosmos starts staring back. A month later, when Gohan learns from Goku about how Piccolo just left the lookout and hasn't been back, Gohan comes looking for him and finds him unconscious on the ground. He wakes him up. "What happened, Piccolo? How long have you been lying here?" he asks. "Honestly, I have no idea. I had a long dream, I guess, but now I can't remember that either," Piccolo replies. This then leads to a detailed conversation between the two. The first meditation where he saw that vision, what we said about the prophecy, the staring into the cosmos, and then how he ultimately fell unconscious without even realizing it. He explains everything and then asks, "Well, what do you think, Gohan?" "Honestly, I thought the answers would spur within me, but now I'm not so sure." "How about we just go and ask Shenron?" Gohan says. "We already did that less than a month ago, Gohan. We'll have to go to New Namek and use their Dragon Balls," Piccolo replies. "Well, that sounds good to me. Let's do that." "We got the best transportation in the universe," Gohan laughs, and this is when they would go and find Goku, who was at that time looking for Broly. Goku would drop them off at New Namek and then be right back in the next moment, hardly losing any time at all. Piccolo and Gohan stare at the spot where Goku was just standing a second ago. "Well, hope he remembers to come get us," Piccolo says. Anyways, they show up at Grand Elder Mori's house next and get right down to business. "It's been a while, Piccolo. How have you been? And how is Dende doing?" the Elder asks. "Splendid, he's doing fine as well. Currently on a vacation in the Pacific, but never mind him. What about you? How have things been with the planet and everything?" Piccolo says. "Oh, better than ever. Nothing worth mentioning though, at least. Not anything that happened after the Moro invasion, but never mind that, Piccolo. You seem different now. Is everything alright?" the Elder states. So Piccolo would reply, "Yes, it is for the most part. We just need your help with the Dragon Balls though. We really need Porunga to answer some questions." "Well, what kind of questions?" Elder Mori asks. Piccolo then takes a few moments to explain his orange transformation as well as the visions he had in the past month. Elder Mori seems unusually concerned after hearing Piccolo's talk though. He would then request to see Piccolo's orange transformation next. From the very moment Piccolo first started unleashing that power to the instance he actually just outright turned orange. It may have only been about 5 to 10 seconds, but that was enough time to catch everyone's attention for miles. Everyone would run up to Elder Mori's place to try and understand what just happened and why did they feel such a massive surge of spiritual power all of a sudden. "This is really unusual," Gohan says. "I know, right? Everything is aligning with the idea that this orange transformation has some sort of deeper meaning that I have to uncover in order to learn more about myself and also about the Namekian race," Piccolo adds. Elder Mori would then go on to address Piccolo, stating, "I understand what you've been going through, Piccolo, but it is very surprising. Astounding, in fact. You're like the exact orange warrior that was mentioned in the Namekian Book of Legends. Personally, I have no idea what this means, but there's definitely got to be something here that we can learn from Porunga." He would then continue on saying, "Very well then, people. Go and gather the Dragon Balls. Today we will be summoning the dragon." Piccolo would express his gratitude, thanking them tremendously, with Mori replying, "Not at all, my friend. This is just as relevant for us as it is for you." The Namekians move with haste and quickly go on to gather all 7 Dragon Balls. The dragon would then be summoned and the air around them all begins to tickle. Almost instantaneously, a bright burst of otherworldly energy explodes out of proportion and envelops the sky into grim darkness. On the surface, there was nothing really unusual, but since Piccolo was now kind of operating at a higher level of awareness, he could see a glimpse of that supreme being in that brief instance when the light exploded. Once it all clears up, Porunga appears in all of his massive, colossal glory. We haven't seen this guy in a minute. Elder Mori's personal attendant steps forth and says, "Porunga, great dragon of the Namekians, we summon you now to grant us our wishes, hear our pleas, and lend us your power." Enough with the formalities, let's get right down to it. "What is your wish?" Porunga states. By this time, Piccolo had already reverted back to his base state, but now that Porunga was here, he decides to unleash his orange form once again. this time with the intent of seeing the dragon's reaction. And after transforming, Piccolo would approach Porunga. It's about time that he uncovers the underlying mysteries of the Namekian race. Can't let the Saiyans be the only impressive race in this universe after all. I can tell, Porunga. You're aware of this orange transformation, so tell me, what does it mean, Piccolo asks. At first, Porunga isn't so sure how to explain all of this because, for what it's worth, there was a lot to explain, but something hits him in that moment which kind of simplifies things in his head. So he would go on to explain, very well, Piccolo. You know about the Super Saiyan God, correct? The legend dates back to over 1,000 years ago, and it was the story of a Super Saiyan whose soul served as the bridge and paved the way for this ultimate transformation to take place. Well, Orange Piccolo is a little bit like that, and I'm afraid that's all I can tell you right now, for I have been forbidden to say more. I understand that, Porunga, but please, tell me more about the Namekian race. Where have we come from? Who is our creator? And more importantly, I guess, who is this supreme looking being that showed up in my conscience? Piccolo sincerely asks. That's a lot of wishes, my friend, but once again, I'm not supposed to tell you this, and as far as that supreme being you talked about goes, just use common sense. It's not that hard to guess who he is, Porunga asserts. Fine. Though as compensation for choosing to not be so helpful, would you at least be willing to drop me and Gohan back off at planet Earth real quick, Piccolo states. Conveniently, Porunga would oblige, and he teleports them right back to Earth where they get caught up in a brazen duel between Goku and Broly. Oh, it's you guys. I was wondering if I was gonna have to go back and pick you up or not, Goku laughs. And side note, now that Goku was finally distracted, Chile and Limo see this as an opportunity to take Broly and finally get the heck up out of here, because at this rate, Goku is gonna keep Broly here training with him forever, it looks like. But when Goku notices that hungry and determined look in Piccolo's eyes, his attention truly shifts from Broly all the way to him now. You know, Piccolo, I can see it in your face. How about we throw hands for a little bit as a sort of tribute to the early days, Goku declares, and he was serious about this. The storied history, powers, and culture of the Namekian race seems to be where Piccolo has found his resolve in now, as he throws his turban on the ground challenging Goku. Both of these guys technically being gods of their own race, and this does play a factor here, which is why Piccolo pulled up on Goku. I'm ready when you are, Goku, but please, use your Super Saiyan God form. I want to try something out. Sure enough, Goku unleashes his Super Saiyan God form and states, alright, you're on. And just like that, the fight between two mythical legends would begin. One day, history would look back and remember both of them in good faith, but that's definitely a story for another time. But it doesn't have to be. You guys get this video to 3,000 likes. I'll try to do a whole what if series on Orange Piccolo in the Namekian Book of Legends. I know you fellas are going to be tapped in for that. So like up, sub up, member up, Gango. However you do so choose to support the channel is always greatly appreciated. Love you guys so much. More Tenkaichi and what if videos on the way. So make sure you're subscribed and got those notifications on for that. But anyways, have a great day. And I'll see you all in the next one.